A wonderful afternoon to you, to our dear viewers. It's a cold afternoon here in the studio. But if you're on the hot side, that means you're on the banter side of football. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. Welcome to Punch Sports Extra. My name is Eniton Daramola. With me here in the studio is Peter Akimbo. Welcome, Peter, to the studio.
Thank you, Eniton.
Yeah, it's really good to be back again. You know, it's been a wonderful and eventful weekend in the world of football and sports in general. And very quickly, we are going to start with the front page of the Punch Sports Extra, the Punch Sports, newspaper. And that's, the big one for us there, because there are big stories. And funnily or unfortunately, it starts, on a sad note actually. And that's because the big guys, the Super Eagles players, lost massively throughout the weekend. Last weekend, it was a streak of loss. Yes, it was a bad day in office. Coming from an eventful weekend or week there about international football, where Nigeria Super Eagles, we were able to book a place in the playoffs, and that's 4 goals. With 4 goals, yes.
Nigeria score 4 goals.
Well, I can't remember that, but it's a good one. However, unfortunately, most of our guys lost in their club side, starting from Fulham, to
Wolves,
everyone,
across
to Wolves.
Every league.
Exactly. So, Peter, what do you think about that? Is that a good sign? Coming, we are going into the playoffs. Is this a good start, or is this a good sign for the Super Eagles, or this has nothing to do, with the Super Eagles?
Well, I think that as a whole, football is a team game. So of course, it's going to have an effect on the whole team as a whole.
Absolutely.
But when you are talking about the Super Eagles and the players in Europe out there, when you come to the Premier League, when you have Fulham, where we have 2 players, Iwobi and Bassi, and we suffered a loss in that fashion. After when Fulham were actually moving like they're going to be able to win that game, then they suffered that loss, and then going on to Wolves with Araujo Dari, who's supposed to be a deputy to Osimhen. Sevilla as well in La Liga. All these players losing their games. Sevilla, where we thought that Akko Adams could maybe get a starter, and he's still on the bench, coming on in, and he could not get that win for them. And they lost 3-1. And even go on again, even to Germany with Leverkusen, they were able to get that win, even though Delali could not play.
Yeah.
Werder Bremen, a draw, Boniface could not play. And looking at all this collective, if your players, which a lot of players are playing abroad, we don't have our players from our MPFL here making the team as much as we would want, because they are not of that quality yet. But or let's say that they're not, because
they are not at that level. They are not, let's say, at that level of football. Because
let's not be done that are stamping that.
Exactly.
So, but if you are looking at the whole team and you're seeing that you are suffering losses in a period where we need morale boosting, we need morale boosters. Osimhen doesn't even post when he scores, and he posted when the team won, even when he came off the bench and he did not score a goal. He posted because right now it's time for that positive morale all around the team, positive atmosphere out there. It's a team effort. So, it just goes to say that, or maybe the coach needs to, when they come to the national team, the coach needs to let them forget other outside factors. He needs to let them know that, okay, at the team here, your last match was a 4-0 win against Benin when you're going to Gabon. Of course, it doesn't bode well, but look at the that they all played as well. They were all tough games. Wolves were not expected to beat Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Palace were not expected to beat Bournemouth. Rather, maybe they are both mid-table teams that
when it comes to the Premier League, you cannot predict. Anybody can beat anybody. But very quickly, on the paper it says doomsday. Now you said anything can happen. You need to let the players know that this shouldn't have a reflection on the national team, and that is what they really need to do. And that's why a certain legend of African football, Didier Drogba, has said that Nigeria should be at the World Cup. And again, Ogenye Onazi is saying that the Super Eagles must beat Gabon come November 13th.
The focus is important.
Yes, so what do you think? Because now, this, I think there was a report over the week with this South African sport minister saying that Nigeria should not and Nigeria must not qualify for the World Cup. Now, Didier Drogba is saying something opposite. He's saying the direct opposite, saying Nigeria must be at the World Cup. What do you think about that?
I think that the South African minister, the comments he made were probably a statement of Nigeria's talking about the Teboko Mokoena suspension and playing illegally, which led to him losing those points, and which was valid for Nigeria because the player defeated an illegal player. They went against the law of FIFA.
Yeah,
they were supposed to be punished. And someone like on the other and the man, it was making comments like Nigerians hate us, so I hate them. Which looking at the matches, the only time that we hate them is the banter. When we are
Yeah, I think it's just pure football, you know.
Pure football
Yeah,
banter. It's not about hatred or anything. We are in a group with you. We don't want you to succeed. We are sorry about that. But South Africans have been praising Nigeria because our win against Benin led to them qualifying for the World Cup for the first time, by the way, since they hosted in 2010. And now their minister is saying that I don't agree with all that praise for Nigeria. Nigeria did not do anything for me. They didn't do anything for me. They must not go and be at that World Cup because they don't deserve to be at the World Cup. On Drogba's side, Drogba is someone that he loves the country, he loves our players, he loves Victor Osimhen, and he wants the best African nations at the World Cup. That's Drogba's. Now, South African president is speaking on a position of rivalry, on a position of, okay, these people were in our group, I don't want them to succeed, blah, 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 blah. But Drogba is speaking as an African citizen now. You have two nations that can go to the World Cup now. Only one from Africa can make it because only one from Africa will go to the international playoffs.
That should make 10.
Yes, only
there
one.
Are 9 qualified teams already.
Only one from Africa will go and play in that playoffs.
Yes, absolutely.
Meaning that only one African nation can join this World Cup again to have 10 nations at the World Cup. So why will a South African nation not say that the nation that has our best chance, which is because Nigeria is the highest ranked nation among all those playoffs teams, the nation that has the best chance of going to the World Cup should not be there. No, because Drogba wants one more African nation at that World Cup. If it is Gabon that qualifies from the playoffs, it feels like, okay, they may not have an easy chance of making it intercontinental playoffs. But Nigeria are the highest ranked nation from Africa.
Yeah, 41.
If they make it to we just jumped up. If they make it to the intercontinental playoffs, they can make it to the World Cup. We are 10 nations at the World Cup. Gives Africa a strong chance of competing at this World Cup. Let's go to the World Cup.
Let's go to the World Cup. You know, South Africa shouldn't decide, or the South African sports minister would not and should not decide who gets to qualify, you know, for the World Cup.
And we don't hate you, South African.
Yeah, obviously, we do not hate South Africans. You know, we are brothers anyways. However, it's not a game of mouths. It's a game of legs. Come, you know, November 13 to 16, the playoffs will be played. The continental playoffs will be played. Nigeria will play Cameroon, Gabon and Congo. You understand? And a win, it's a must win for Nigeria. The 2 games we must win before we start, you know, before we get to, you know, the intercontinental playoffs. However, quickly we'll move on to one more thing on the front line, on the front page, I beg your pardon, and that is Mikel Arteta begging for what's his name now? Is interesting striker Victor Gyökeres to end his goal drought. How long do you think this goal drought will last for?
I think it's now 9 games. I think it's now 9 games.
And how long do you think is going to last for?
I think looking at Arsenal's fixtures in the UCL, they have a master of the dark arts. They have Diego Simeone, who is obviously very good at keeping that back line, very good at that back the box. People were saying that last season is losing it. He has come back now. He has beaten Real Madrid. He's now going against another fellow with dark arts, and we saw him last weekend getting that win, keeping a clean sheet again as usual, doing what he does. So I think Gyökeres is going to have that 10-game goal drought. If he scores against Diego Simeone, good. I'll be happy for him. But Arteta as well, who is now begging his striker to end the goal drought, said that as long as he's doing his job for the team, as long as he's getting in those positions, as long as he's pulling the defenders away and getting the goals to come from the other members of the team, as long as we're getting those wins. But obviously, you're a striker, they paid a lot of money for you.
Exactly. You don't want to pay that huge amount of money and then you expect
the top award winner for 2024. That's the Gerd Trophy. So they want you to get these goals. And I think that it might extend up to 10 because of the opposition he has in front of him. But I think the goals are going to come for him. He's a very good striker. He has the height, he has the physique, he has the strength. It's the Premier League. It's a different ball game. Yeah. It's not longer Sporting Lisbon. I mean, you may say that he scored the hat-trick against Man City in the UCL last season, but that is facing European English teams once in a while, not back to back. They bullied you last week. They are preparing to bully you again this week. Yeah. They have watched your game and they study. EPL is so crazy because the defenders study you in a way that look at Haaland. Haaland scored 3 goals, 5 goals. He doesn't score at that anymore. Haaland is scoring. So
I think Haaland is on
a different level
entirely.
Yet, even him, he doesn't score at the pace which he scored in his first season. Maybe the lack of De Bruyne is a factor.
I don't think
We
so,
don't
because over the weekend he had 2 goals against Everton, and for
Alan scored 36 goals in his
and
first
back to back. I think he has scored. He has, in this season so far, he has scored in almost every game,
Almost every
and he has scored more than 1 goal for his team, and he's been really instrumental for Manchester City.
He has
They are
really stepped up doing the absence of
exactly. So they are second on the log, and from what you said, he said he will get the goal, or he needs to score the goals. So that's where we're wrapping it up on the front page at this moment. And very quickly, we are going to what went down over the weekend from the Spanish La Liga to the Italian Serie A, and then to the big one, the English Premier League. Very quickly, let's start with the English Premier League. Peter, on Saturday and Sunday, there were games across the Premier League, and some things that we didn't expect happened. Hold on. Some things that I know you're already talking about, the game that happened yesterday.
Okay, but
before we get there, some things that we didn't expect, happened. And the big one is it started with Chelsea playing 3-0 against Nottingham Forest, and it got somebody sacked after just about a month.
39 days.
39 days. Just about a month.
Just 8 games.
Yeah. So come on, let's start with that game. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. What do you think is the problem for Forest? And do you think Chelsea were a bit lucky to have played Forest?
I mean, the Evangelo Mafiana case, the Forest boss. I think that it was being a bit unrealistic, or is not being pragmatic, because if you are someone like former Chelsea owner
Roman Abramovich, and you are someone that watches your team's games, and you know what happened to your team last season. Your team was close to qualifying for Europe, for Champions League. They got down to Conference League at the end of the season because of laws and all. Got into Europa League. So now your team is going to be playing Europa League and other tournaments. They are even out of 1 or 2 of the cups. I think they're even out of the 2 cups, out of 1, I'm sure of that, of the cup tournaments in England. So you know that your team is going to play 4 tournaments this season. You lost Anthony Elanga away to Newcastle. Olaino, one of your best players last season, one of your best defender, got injured very early on in the season. It was still, transfer window was still open then. And then Chris Wood is getting older. We can all tell that he's getting older. And Morgan Gibbs-White had the issues I know with the team, but he later stayed. The transfer saga,
but he later stayed. Yeah. So the entire team is no longer the team that was last season. And then you now took away the manager that was let's not say managing. They took away the manager that motivated that team to a chase for UCL. You beat Liverpool home and away. 1-0. In both games, Olaino blocking the defense, blocking 2 goals on the goal line clearances. Anthony Langa, 2 assists, 1 assist in one and the goal in the other game. So 2 of your crucial, the 2 on that right wing goal, 2 of them are on that right flank, and they are out of your team. 2 of them supplies goals, 2 of them are defensive.
Pardon me, Peter.
I get. I'm trying to speed me up on Iwiwi, but let me know something. So Forest lost all these key prongs in their team, and now the manager and now Postecoglou came into that team. Postecoglou was not that fogged up. Postecoglou was not that messed up in my own point by taking that job. You don't take a job like that. Just like Potter coming to Chelsea, the team has lost a number of key legs, and the team were not playing well with their original boss. And he now came to do what? To be the messiah of the team? No, that team is no longer the team that it was last season. What I always think is that Forest have lost that level. They are no longer. They were becoming a Bournemouth and Newcastle. They have gone back down. They are now back to maybe Wolves. Forest have dropped. They have dropped by a lot this season. And I don't blame Postecoglou at all in any way. Nothing could have done to make that team better. Nothing Postecoglou could have done to make that. It was inevitable that was going to be sacked. And Galifianakis, let's see who is going to be Evangelo's next manager.
Oh yeah, let's see who's going to be.
And for Chelsea, good luck to them. Obviously, it was a lucky game. But I mean, Chelsea are also a better team. They were title contender last season. They said they're not chasing titles, but they title contender. They also won the Club World Cup. They are world champions.
Indeed.
Yes, they're a better team. They should be beating teams like Forest 3-0. Yes, it was a good game.
Oh well, since they should be beating teams like Forest 3-0, you can't predict what happens in the world of football, and when it gets to your emotions, and you also sometimes cannot predict, what happens when emotions get involved and somebody's, like Peter just did, and we sincerely apologize for that. And very quickly, I'll give you a rundown of what happened over the weekend. Chelsea played Forest 3-0. It ended very quickly. Brighton 2-1 to Newcastle, against Newcastle, I beg your pardon. Burnley 2-0 against Leeds. Palace and Bournemouth played 3-3. Manchester City 2-0 against Everton, with Erling Haaland getting on the score sheet yet again with 2 goals. And Sunderland played 2-0 against Wolves, who are currently rock bottom. I don't know what's happening with Wolves, but our own Arokodare has not found the back of the net, and it appears that he has not really, found his footing when it comes to the Premier League and with Wolves. But as it is, they need to get him scoring. They need to get the team running as it is, because
the
relegation
he got in the FA Cup, he scored. So
yes,
they need to give him a chance in the EPL as well.
Oh yeah, he needs to be given a chance, but when he gets the chance, he needs to show the manager that you can trust me to play week in, week out. And then very quickly, Fulham 1-0, they lost to Arsenal, and then that propelled Arsenal to the top of the English Premier League table. But that was not the main thing that made Arsenal top the league. It was the big game yesterday, but before the big game yesterday, Tottenham Hotspur lost 2-1 to Aston Villa. Aston Villa are beginning to get their form back. It was 2-1 at home.
After not winning
exactly.
3 games.
It was an away victory for Aston Villa. But the big one yesterday in the English Premier League was the game between Manchester United and Liverpool. 2-1, it ended. Talk about the game. Tell me what you think about that game. How did you expect Manchester United to beat Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield? And that was like the first time in almost 10 years. What do you think about that game?
I expected it not because I support Man United in a way, or because I think that Man United are better than Liverpool. Man United are not better than Liverpool.
Hold on. Are Manchester United better than Liverpool?
I said Man United are not better than Liverpool.
Okay, because I came across a video on Instagram this morning. It was a video recap. It was like a recap for Phil Jones, who was saying, arguably Manchester United are the biggest club in the world after Real Madrid. He said, the fact that Manchester United are poor presently doesn't take the fact that doesn't change, the script doesn't change the narrative that they are the biggest. But do you think Manchester United were the better team yesterday, and was it a deserved 2-1 win?
It was a deserved win. If you watch that game across board, Manchester were better. I mean, there were times when they would still be shaky in defense, which is still the new system at play. But better than...
I don't think that system is all that new, because they've played that system from last season and now
some new players are brought into the team this season as well to click with the defense. But that aside, I think that they were better in that game as a whole, 100%. They were better. Pressing, pushing, putting on the pressures, the plays, the passing. Of course, there were times when they would not string 3 passes together.
Oh yes,
but
obviously.
If you watch that match, Man United wanted that win. They were no longer going to give up. Normally, if Liverpool have scored that equalizer, Man U will slump. Liverpool controlled the entire game. But after Liverpool got that goal, they came back out again and got that goal. And obviously, credit to Harry Maguire, who has really improved, who has really shown himself across, I think, 2 seasons or 1.5 seasons now, since getting all those ridicule and all that shame. Getting that winner, he missed a chance to get the winner in January this year, and now he did not miss his chance. And a good win for Man United, getting it back-to-back wins on the board for the first time.
For Ruben
Amorim.
Yeah.
Doing it at Anfield against one of their bitterest rivals. And pushing us now a bit further in their chase for a first league title since 2003, their Invisibles season.
Very quickly, before we go further, we still, talk a little more about the Manchester United.
Okay, so about
hold on. Yeah. So I have some questions. This is the first time Manchester United is beating Liverpool at Anfield in almost 10 years. You understand? And last season something almost happened at Anfield. The game ended 2-2. Yeah. 2-2. Harry Maguire almost scored from that's almost a similar point. He had a chance to bury that game 3-2 for Manchester United, but it didn't happen. However, this season he has been the man. Do you think that this is a man Manchester United should look up to and build, build the team and the future around? Is this someone that that could like set the pace for the guys? The mindset is the difference for me. The mindset is the difference. This guy has gone through hell and back. So do you think this is the guy they should, build the team around? And does he deserve the new contract?
Well, I think yes, he deserves the new contract, 100%. Harry Maguire is someone that has really proven himself. But however, for a team to be built around him at this stage, it may be a bit difficult because when he was signed originally, he was signed for that. He was 25 or 24 years old, signed for a team to be built around him. But now he's already in 28, 29, I think, I'm not sure. but he's already getting towards the late 30s, and he's going to lose that pace. He's going to lose those legs, and the Premier League is going to continue to evolve and continue to be a faster
definitely
league. But obviously, a defense can be built around him. He has always shown that stability, and when he gets to that side of the side, always getting those goals as well. Maybe a lesser Sergio Ramos, not so aggressive, but Harry Maguire does his job. On Harry Maguire's day, is probably one of the best defenders in that Premier League. For someone that can go two ways. Not every defender in the Premier League, so people that just do their jobs defensively, but not everybody can go up front and get those goals and still do the job at the back as well. And Harry Maguire has always stepped up. And yes, maybe a team can be built around him, maybe a form of a team can be built around him at the back, maybe a team can be built around having him presently in that starting lineup every day. Yes, obviously, yes, I agree.
Talk about the people that do their job. You know, like you said, Harry Maguire does his job. Some people did not do their job, and unfortunately, they are down the pecking order in the Italian Serie. And that's talking about Juventus. Juventus lost 2-0 to Como. Cesc Fabregas' Como. 2-0 against Juventus. They lost. What do you think about that game? Do you think, you know, is that a bad sign for Juve?
I mean, there were a team that were having winning streaks, and all of a sudden now, after the draw, now we lost. I think that it just shows that the season has just started. Everybody was coming on from pre-season. Everybody was coming on from early form. Everybody was coming on from less woo-woo. But now the season has started. Everything is now playing out as it should. Because I like how I always call Como Cesc Fabregas Como, because he has really put his identity on that team. Just like Pep Guardiola's Barca, Johan Cruyff's Barca, Zidane's Madrid. He has put his identity in that team in a way that you know that, okay, this team is young and hungry. They want to get those wins. And beating Juve is a very big one for them. I mean, Juve would have wanted to get their title chase back on. But looking at that team, looking at the entire Serie A, Inter still has the best team on paper. Inter still has a stronger team than the rest of them. Yes, they are trying, but Juve is no longer that Juve. They're not Juve that have Cristiano Ronaldo. They're not Juve that have Paul Pogba. Who is that marquee guy in Juve? It should be Vlahovic. He's someone that wants to leave. It should be Yildiz. He's someone that is still budding. He's someone that is still
he's been instrumental for him.
He has been instrumental for Juve, of course. Can never be taken away from him. But he's not yet a Bukayo Saka. He's not yet even a Lamine Yamal.
Oh, Bukayo Saka, that's a big one. Bukayo Saka, that's a big one. But very quickly, you have mentioned Lamine Yamal. Now, before we go to the Spanish La Liga, let me quickly, tell our viewers how it went down in the Italian Serie A. Yes, it was 2-0 to Como against Juventus. AC Milan are top of the table. They won 2-1 against Fiorentina. Inter Milan won 1-0 against Roma, and that allowed Roma to drop. Yeah, that allowed Roma to drop down. They were top. I think it was the weekend before the international break, but now they're back down. And then Atalanta 0-0 against Lazio. We still don't know what's going on with Atalanta. They are still trying, to get our guy, Ademola Lookman, back into the team. It's going to take a while, but hopefully when they do so,
I mean, he got his first start, but let's see how it
clicks. Let's just see how it clicks. And then Torino, another big shocker. Torino beats Napoli 1-0. Over the weekend. And then we go to the Spanish La Liga. People are doing their jobs, and one man who cannot stop doing his job is the person of Kylian Mbappe, who
look at that one.
Who ensured that Real Madrid won
their
game 1-0, and they kept their position atop the La Liga. And it's not just Real Madrid who won. Barcelona too won their game 2-1. Atletico Madrid also won their game 1-0. But unfortunately, Sevilla, who trashed Barcelona 4-1, before the international break.
They were bamboozled.
They were bamboozled by Mallorca 3-1. Now, what do you think? Is it so early to predict who wins the La Liga?
Yeah, it's still too early, but I think it is between Barca and Madrid again, as
Barcelona.
usual. Last season, Atletico had a chance with how Napoli won their league. Brought a new guy that nobody was prepared for. McTominay getting those goals and he won the league. So last season, Atletico Madrid also did that. They brought a new guy, was getting the goal, getting the assist. Julian Alvarez did his job. I wanted him to win La Liga last season because it was one that really deserved it. He worked out for the team. Times that they would let him down, just like the beginning of this season as well. He was still getting those goals. They were letting him down, but he kept dragging them on. The Madrid match was a masterclass. Once again, they won their game, and don't get and fighting Atletico Madrid DNA. But coming to the true contenders, these ones are not pretenders. Barca and Madrid once again. Barca showing that never say die spirit. Araujo, just like putting in his best Maguire performance, playing in centre forward, getting that goal, it put on the bottom in there for him to use his head, but then he got the goal with his legs, and he celebrated to show how much that result matters to them, because Barca know right now that with their injury woes, they must not lose points in these games, because they still have the Atletico Madrid to play, they still have the Madrid to play, they still have the Bilbao to play. And after losing to Sevilla, they needed to get this win off the board ahead of the UCL match and ahead of the El Clasico, which is the next game for them now in the league. And for Real Madrid, obviously, they needed a red card for them to be able to push down that team. I mean, they got the goal first, but
it was not a penalty. It wasn't a
penalty. I mean, but it was 11 against 10 at that level against Madrid. You've been playing. We all know Bordelas. He has been packing the box. He has been blocking them all. He has been holding that Madrid down. And we know he can always get those draws. If we get that 0-0.
But unfortunately, he didn't get
unfortunately, Vini doing what Vini does best. People say that Vini is always talking, but he got in his skin, got that red card, a valid red card. No one can call Madrid valid on this one.
Absolutely.
Valid red card. And Mbappe and Goulet connection, showing once again the pass, the connection, and the turn. Come on, Kylian Mbappe. What a beauty. And the turn and the goal. Mbappe, Harry Kane, Haaland all scored again this weekend.
Over the weekend.
All scored again.
Well, when you have the big guys.
The Golden Boot race, the Ballon d'Or race is really, really eating up.
You are saying the Ballon d'Or race is really
this early in the season.
It's pretty too early. It's pretty too early, because recall last season, or the last Ballon d'Or winner didn't come from.
He didn't click until December.
Exactly, he
didn't December.
I agree. It wasn't the striker.
I agree.
You understand? So it could be anybody. It could be anybody.
He did play striker.
And there's an agenda, or there's a narrative that is being played by Barcelona fans saying that this is the year for a certain Lamine Yamal, or it could be exactly. So it's pretty too early. Yeah, the World Cup will decide. It's pretty too early, to decide who wins the Ballon d'Or. Now, talking about the World Cup, before we go quickly, we are going to talk about the Super Eagles and the Continental Playoffs. Now, Nigeria will play against Gabon. November 13th is the date, and at the same time or the same day, Cameroon will play against DR Congo. Whoever wins, that's a semi-final. Whoever wins that semi-final will head to the finals of the Continental Playoffs. Should it be Nigeria versus, Cameroon or DR Congo? Or should it be an upset, I beg your pardon, Gabon beating Super Eagles, and then Gabon facing either DR Congo or Cameroon? Very quick, what's your prediction?
Well, I predict Nigeria to win that game. It's not going to be easy, because obviously right now, it's now do or die.
Obviously, it's a do or die.
It's not do or die. But then we saw Super Eagles last in a do or die game. It was a do or die for Benin as well. The Benin needed to win or draw that game. But the Super Eagles just imposed themselves on them. And Gabon are a team that has Aubameyang, which is someone that we must not give the chances that we gave to Benin's strikers the last match against them. So, but the Super Eagles are still better. On paper, on the pitch, in numbers, in talent, it should be better. And Chile is actually building this team now that I think that we can trust Eric Chell. Let's see.
We can trust Eric Chell.
We can trust Eric Chell. He has done his job. 4 wins, 2 draws out of the 6 of the qualifiers.
His job is not to win. Is not to get 4 wins, 2 draws. His job actually is to get Super Eagles to the World Cup.
Okay,
yes,
I agree. But I think in a situation where we were third and he got us it was either to win the group or to get the first loser. And let's say he has crashed off half the target. The other half is to get to the World Cup. And the man seems like someone that really studies the game. He seems to watch our players and know where the best places to put them. Because looking at Chukwueze and Osimhen being able to connect for those first 2 goals, and if we can play at that level again if we play at the level we played against Benin for the rest of the games in the qualifiers, I think we should be able to beat Gabon and we should be able to have a good chance to play in the final of the playoffs.
So if we beat Gabon in the semi-final of the playoffs, who would you prefer?
Cameroon.
Wow,
who do I prefer?
Cameroon to play against Nigeria in the final.
I thought you said who do I predict?
Oh wow,
I don't prefer Cameroon. I don't prefer Cameroon. But we should be playing these games. We should actually play these games. Will you ask Madrid that they should share the points between them and Barca? They should play 2 times in the league season. Should they give them 2 points, or should they go and play the games and try and win?
Oh no, they will obviously go for playing the game.
Go for playing the game. So these are your opponents. These are the rivals. Whoever it is. Because if we are all saying that we don't want Cameroon, we want Congo, that means that we are predicting that Cameroon is tougher. So Cameroon should beat Congo, yeah? So if Cameroon beats Congo, you will still play them. So let's first do the job against Gabon, and let's try and not give Aubameyang those chances. The man is tall, the man is fast, the man is showing that age is not affecting him. Look at him in Marseille as well.
Oh yes, and Marseille are actually top of the.
They are top of the league.
French
They
league.
won the match 6-2.
Wow, interesting.
Greenwood scoring 4 goals. So I think that if the Super Eagles just do their jobs, you have the better team. Nobody should try and be a hero except Osimhen. You can always be a hero, Osimhen. I push Osimhen to try and be a hero. But the rest of you, when you're in those chances, give your striker the ball. Feed him these balls, he will score. He will score.
So just feed him the balls, and if he's going to score.
Let's pray he's there.
You know, he has to be there. But if he's not there, others must step up. You understand? Others must step up. And at this stage, there's no more calculation. We are no longer doing calculation. It's a win or go home. So the Super Eagles must win. Now, finally, before we leave on the show today, a certain British Nigerian boxer is being rumored to be, returning to the ring. Very quick, Peter. Do you think Anthony Joshua should return to the ring, or you should call it quits?
I think he should return. I think he should try again. I think that he should not end his career on that KO. That's very bad. Even if he's not going to try and go for a title again, if he can win on his return, a good fight, and he's fine, you can go. You can say retire after that. If he gets that Fury fight too, even if he's not a title fight and he wins, he can go. But if he should not end the career like this, Joshua's legacy should not be ended on losing by a KO to Dubois. Come on. I mean, Dubois is trying as well, but look at how Usyk beats Dubois. Usyk did not KO Joshua. Usyk did not KO Fury. Usyk KO'd Dubois. So Joshua that faced Usyk twice, battled him, faced him well, and second battle, almost won the second fight. And Dubois was knocked out by that man, by an older Usyk than the one that Joshua faced. So Joshua should not end his career. That should not be the last fight in Anthony Joshua's records. A KO loss in the second round in that manner. He was totally beaten. So I think that Joshua needs to come back to the ring, and let's see how he comes up in the final, in the return, to see maybe he tries for the title one more time. And
let's see how it comes out, and to see whether he charges for the titles. Again. And on that note, we'll be drawing the curtains on today's show, today's edition of Punch Sports Extra, with a message from Peter saying, do not quit. To you, our beloved viewers, we want to say thank you for joining us on the show today. Without you, we would not be here. So our message for you, as you go on this week, do not quit. Do not quit. I beg your pardon. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll catch you again, same time, same dial, next week, Monday, when we bring you the hot and the biggest in the world of sports. From myself and everybody in the studio, and from Peter, I want to say thank you. Have yourself a very lovely day. Bye-bye.